Hey guys, let's discuss Head Gravity Pro, perhaps the most inspiring professional racket to play with from Head's catalog, and maybe even all the rackets on the market, next to Wilson Blade, because the endorsements are so wide, and with the Gravity maybe not as wide, but they are quite special with Alexander Zverev and Andrei Rublev. The racket is not really that easy to play, and I think many will fall into this trap that the Gravity Pro has the big sweet spot, and for most of us it means forgiving, responsive, spin-friendly, everything towards, let's say, recreational players. I think Gravity line is aimed towards those very competitive players with very good stroke mechanics and physical preparation. When I was looking at my first footage with the Gravity Pro, I noticed that I struggle with this frame. It's funny because when I hold it, in some ways it feels fast, in some ways it feels slow. On my backhand side, I feel kind of mass in the handle as the headlight low swing wave even frame. On forehand it's kind of even, but as I learned this racket, I kind of learned how to manage the wave distribution to my advantage. So yeah, it's a love-hate relationship because this Gravity Pro is so inspiring to play with. I love both of those players, Zverev and Rublev. When I think about the Gravity racket, I feel like I have many spots to improve because my technique is probably leaking a bit and I lose the momentum from my core or from the ground. If I had to put Gravity next to some other rackets, I would say it reminds me of Head Prestige Pro because it is similarly demanding to be efficient with. And maybe Wilson Blade 1820, but you have some help from the racket. Yeah, it is more forgiving for sure. Therefore it is also more spin friendly, and it is not maybe dragging you down as a Blade 1820. Blade is kind of lighter but more head heavier. You feel the tip of the racket going down. Gravity Pro is kind of more balanced in feel. The wave distribution is more balanced. However, because I mentioned already that it kind of feels slow and fast at the same time, I think the wave distribution could be slightly tweaked. I know that there are many fans of the Gravity and they'll bash me for it, but let's look at the Zverev and Rublev. One, Zverev, who is very good at using kinetic chain, he has a more head heavier setup, so you have this hammer in your hand that you can use, and Rublev, another vision of how you can swing the racket. His racket is much more headlight and slightly heavier in static way. When I have this something in between those, I feel like, yeah, I feel like I want to push it towards some direction. And I tried adding some mass to the head. I failed because suddenly the racket was just too demanding to use. I tried adding leather grip to make the frame more headlight, and it didn't help me because on the backhand side I already felt the racket as a light racket, even though it's not a light racket, and I like this stability on the backhand, and it doesn't necessarily mean heavy or head heavier or with a higher swing with racket, because recently I tried Prestige MP, which is lighter, and it felt very good on the backhand side. Even Head Radical MP feels more natural on my backhand. Both of those rackets are head heavier, so someone can say that I prefer head heavy rackets, but even Prestige Pro, that is more headlight, feels more natural on my backhand side. So I figured, okay, I play the best in stock form, so I can now move on and try to adapt, try to kind of change my perception of the feel. And I think competitive players practice in general to have this feel, not to learn the technique or something because they are already perfect by the book. But if you feel the swing, if you feel the technique, it is much easier to connect the dots and recreate the swing over and over again. When it comes to the performance, I think it is great in general, because you're getting everything that you need to be competitive. Great control. Yeah, it is more forgiving, but at the same time it is low powered, so you can't just be lazy with Gravity Pro. Otherwise the ball will land short and you will be punished because it's not really maybe that good on defense. It is for attackers. You want to dominate or at least keep the ball neutral. Otherwise you will be in trouble. The launch angle is pretty neutral. Yeah, I would say it's a very good alternative to Prestige Pro. If you are used to Prestige Pro but you want to try something else, then Gravity Pro is your next racket from Head's catalog. Regarding strings, I think I would put here Headlinks Tour. Maybe Hawk Touch. I also tried Hawk Power, which was great, and that is a tricky part with the Gravity Pro, finding the perfect string, because the string bed in general is responsive and quite big, but the racket itself is very low powered and demanding. So in some ways you want to tame the string bed to have this more solid feel. And at the same time you want to unlock the string bed to have a more forgiving, easier to use experience. I'm not sure which string would play the best, because there are two very different ways of how you can look at this racket. And I think Links Tour is maybe in a perfect middle ground, where you kind of have everything in between. You have some spin, you have some feel, you have some control, you can lower the tension. However, maybe going all in with Hawk Touch isn't that bad either, because you increase the dwell time a lot, so you can accelerate even more, and you increase the feel of the already perfect feel-oriented racket. So yeah, you can be a master in one category, or maybe try to run around the categories and try to find the balance between all the dots. That is a tricky part, and that is the most tricky part in this racket, finding your balance and your feel. Slices maybe could be better. I hit some floaters, and partly it is because I strung the racket too low, or maybe not, because on other shots it was actually benefiting me. It is not a Swiss Army knife where you can use this forgiveness of the racket in every place on the court. You have to go for it, you have to be aggressive, you have to be the one trying to dominate, or at least keep the ball neutral. Compared to the previous Gravity Pro, I prefer this one. I think the feel is slightly improved. It is more direct and probably more focused. I use this term quite often, and to me, focus is the ability to sense the ball on the string and having this clear vision of how I am holding racket at the contact point. So in general, it is associated with feel and wave distribution and head size. The bigger the head size, the less focused the frame feels. If you tried once 95 square inches racket, you will know what I am talking about, because there the focus of the head size, the focus of the string bed is very good. You kind of feel everything. It's like extension of your hand, and with a bigger head size, it's a kind of numb feeling. You have to get used to it, I believe. For some it is easier, for some it is harder. So yeah, I have mixed feelings about the Gravity Pro. It is one of the most inspiring rackets to play with, but I'm not sure that I am willing to put all the work that it takes to play good with it. All things together create a different experience for different players. However, I must say that with Gravity Pro, it is easier to counter-attack on a stretch, and with Prestige Pro, the ball kind of dies on the string bed, and with Gravity Pro, the threshold is slightly more, let's say, user-friendly. But at the same time, the change is not that big to advertise Gravity Pro as a forgiving racket, because it is still a very control-oriented, feel-oriented, demanding racket. But the quality of the ball, quality and potential of the improvement you can do with the racket is very attractive to me and engaging. I feel engaged with the Gravity Pro. That is a huge factor, because it helps me craft my vision of how I want to play, and you know, watching Rublev and Zverev gives me as well some inspirations where I can potentially improve, because they're using something very similar. Of course, with slightly different wave distribution. And I think maybe here head could make some small tweaks to the racket. Maybe the safest way, without messing with the current fans of the Gravity Pro, would be adding like 5 grams to the handle and make it more headlight, so slightly towards those Prestige Pro users, and towards, let's say, Rublev's vision of swing style. Because making it more head heavy, maybe if the static wave is lower at the same time, maybe, but I think it would be a dangerous move, especially that you have Gravity Tour that you could customize to your needs. Let me know what do you guys think about the wave distribution of the Gravity Pro. I've read on the Tennis Talk forum that many of you are looking for a specific racket with lower swing wave. I'm not sure it's a good idea with such thin beam and big head size. I think Gravity Pro needs to be heavy in order to perform well. The big question is how to make it heavy while still keeping it user-friendly. I think this is the biggest quest for head. Yeah, I think they should just maybe lower swing wave slightly, but add 5 grams to the handle, make it more headlight, kinda a true alternative to Prestige Pro racket. Let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching. See you soon. Subscribe if you can. Ciao, ciao, bye.